Boy, Coach, you've said it before, but there are no easy nights in the Big 12, are there?
No, especially when you extend it a week. But played a really good team, and I thought we did some really good things, but we made way too many mistakes. Turnovers in the second half, and giving up the extra possessions by not defensive rebound in the first half. I thought was the difference in both of those halves. But can't dwell on it. Can't look in the rearview mirror here. Certainly got a quick turnaround and another really, really good opponent that we got in front of us.
Very good. Members of the media, please click raise hand and we'll try and get to everybody. First question is going to come from Robert Allen from Triple Play Sports. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, Coach, I was just going to ask you what you knew at this point, which I'm going to guess isn't much on Cade's situation.
Yeah, not much. I obviously have it right in front of me there. I didn't see anything unusual other than he stepped on the guy's foot and rolled in. So we'll get an evaluation, and as soon as we know more, we'll obviously pass the information along.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Mike, you mentioned the offensive rebounding. Baylor's obviously really good at that, but when they're tipping balls out and doing things like that maybe catch some guys by surprise, is there frustrations building there, or what was happening there with the first half?
Yeah, I mean, they're good. It's part of their identity, and they got guys who understand that that's an important part of them having success is going to the glass. And we didn't make the proper adjustment. We kept running in even when they were shooting threes and we're chasing, and now those batted out balls are going to guys that stand behind the line. Certainly something for us to learn from, but that's a really good team, and there's a reason that they've been considered one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the country all year. And it's a great opportunity for us to use this as a way to grow and get better.
You mentioned you were right in front of Cade when he got hurt. What kind of goes through your mind there when you see Cade roll his ankle like that?
Well, I'm always first and foremost worried about this future. That's my, as much as winning and representing our program is, my commitment to these kids is always first. And I want to make sure he's okay. And if he's okay, he'll continue to work with us. And if it's anything more serious than it feels like it is right now, then we'll evaluate how we need to move forward.
You feel like it's serious? Do you have any gauge on that?
I have no idea. I mean, it didn't seem that way, but I'm no doctor, so I don't want to give any bad information either way. He's obviously able to walk on his own power back to the locker room. So we got trainers and doctors for it. They'll give me information, and I'll follow their guidance on it.
He was kind of held in check a little bit offensively the first half, and he adjusted the second half and really did a lot of good things. How good was he in the second half? What did you see from him?
He was really good. I thought he was, really assertive. We had to make an adjustment. They made an adjustment in how they were guarding ball screens because we got some rolls to the rim. And then they just started switching, which kind of keeps people in front of him. But we tried to find the right switch that he could maybe get a better look off of, and he took advantage like a good player does.
And last one for me, you guys won 5 in a row. I know how good you think Baylor is. What positives do you take from this? Do you feel like it's deflating at all, or what do you take from this?
I mean, losing is always deflating. No matter who it's against. But certainly, in our conference, we're getting to this time of year where all these games are a big deal. We're playing meaningful basketball in March. We think we'll have a chance to continue to play meaningful basketball in March, so we can't dwell on it. We didn't just lose at home to a bad team. We lost on the road to a team that many, undoubtedly, they'll be a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. So I won't let our guys hang their heads because we've accomplished a lot, and there's still a lot more out there in front of us.
Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Mike, there's a saying in basketball that long shots produce long rebounds. How much of Baylor's shooting threes kind of contributed to their offensive boards, or was it things that your guys maybe weren't doing?
It was a combination of both. They weren't all long rebounds. A lot of them were kind of up around the rim and just kind of being tipped out deep. And so we got to go back and look at the film and figure out if there's a way from a strategic standpoint to make sure that that's not something that becomes a problem long term. Are we boxing out? Should the guy who chases challenges the shot maybe stay, more in the free throw line area as opposed to coming all the way back into to the basket to rebound. And that's something that's my job, is to find out how to help our team be better in those situations.
And then you in the second half went less Rondell, more Farron. Kind of what went into that decision?
Rondell didn't have it today. That happens. That's why you have depth. Keelan again gave us some good minutes because he is a good rebounder and thought he played it really hard. But Farron's been here, and I felt confident that if he got in there and had an opportunity, he would be ready. And I thought he was. I thought him and Bernie and Keelan really off our bench gave us a lot of really strong productivity.
And then last one for me, it's a weird turnaround with you go flying from Baylor to Waco, or from Waco to Morgantown. What do the next few days look like? Are you guys flying out tonight? What does that kind of look like?
No, I mean, Morgantown's not a place you want to fly to, starting at 8:30 Central Time. So we'll stay here tonight. We'll get up in the morning and we'll try to get up there when the sun's out, so we don't have any issues with our pilots.
I appreciate it.
Our next question comes from Frank Bonner from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Mike, I'm not sure how many teams in the country can say that they've played as many top 10 teams as you guys have. You've won a lot of them. You're down by 4 late in the game against Baylor. At this point in time, how do you like the way you guys are just competing against some of the top 10 teams in the country, even the ones you lose?
I love our team. I really do. We got some really competitive guys. But we ran into a team that was better tonight. And they're experienced. They're tough. They got great leadership. They got great coaching. And again, they're going to be expected to be a team that plays on the final weekend of the season. But I thought for the most part, we went toe-to-toe with them. We had the ball down 4. There was 5 or 6 minutes to go. And so, we showed what we're capable of, but we just didn't get over the hump. Baylor had a lot to do with that, but I was proud of what our guys did, and I look forward to continuing to build with them. There's a lot more basketball for this team out in front of us the next couple of weeks.
And you guys are, playing your best when you guys are able to get out and fast break and transition. You guys weren't able to do that today. What were some of the factors that played a role into that?
Well, the first half, they just kicked our butts on the glass. It's hard to get out and run when you're taking the ball out of the net a lot. And, they took advantage of our, I don't know if it was lack of awareness. I have to go back and watch the film to figure out how. But I think they had 10 offensive rebounds in the first half. And they only missed like 20 shots. And so that means they were getting almost 2 shots every time down the court, which makes it hard to run. So if you don't force turnovers, you got a defensive rebound. And we didn't do either, which really held us back from getting out of transition. We did a better job in the second half getting stops, which gave us a chance to have more flow in our offense.
Thank you, Mike.
Our next question comes from Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, Mike, you had 18 turnovers. You had a great shooting night, but 18 turnovers was your downfall. Some of those Baylor's defense, but some were just careless. This late in the season, what can you do to sort of make sure you value the ball more?
Watch the film, be more conscious of our spacing. You can't make that many mistakes against this caliber team and win. Not this time of year. There's too much urgency across the board, especially when you consider there are a lot of guys around the country that their clocks are winding down. This is the end of their careers. They don't want this thing to end, so they're going to do everything they can to try to take advantage of the mistakes you make. And again, Baylor, who's our conference champion already, proves why they are by taking advantage of almost every mistake that we made today. Had a lot of points so far turnover.
Cade made the biggest turnover when you down 4, and he just sort of with the big fella on him, he just sort of lost the ball. He was in such an offensive rhythm. How does that happen where he just sort of just gets away from him?
Yeah, I don't know if he took, again, I was actually watching the guys in front of me. He was on the other side, and I was trying to get the spacing proper where I was. And next thing I know, I looked up and I saw them going the other way. So I would have to guess. I don't want to do that, but I feel like maybe he relaxed for a second, liking the switch that he had, and just lost it. Certainly a mistake that he regrets at this point. He knows it. He knows he's got to take care of the ball better in that situation, and I feel confident of putting the ball in his hands again the next time we have that opportunity, that he won't make that same mistake the next time out.
Our next question is going to come from Chris Becker from the Ocala. Go ahead, Chris.
Coach, it seems like every time, they had you guys on the ropes, you'd make a big run, and then they'd kind of answer with a big 3 or, a little run of their own. How do you kind of stop that from happening where when you guys make runs, you kind of keep that momentum on your side of the court and not let them kind of get right back into it?
Well, again, with all due respect, that's saying that Baylor is not good enough to do it. Like, we can stop them. You got to give them credit. They're really good, and I don't want to discount the fact that they got a couple All-American players, right? A couple guys who are going to be Player of the Year type guys, and there's a reason for that. We're a team that's got to continue to learn. I think we are where they were maybe 2 years ago, with some guys that are kind of learning how to figure out how to win, and they've got it figured out. They've won a lot of games where the game's been close at some point in the second half, and they've kind of made that run. It's something that's really a part of who they are, part of their DNA. And so I'm not saying we can't do anything about it. We just have to continue to grow. We got to continue to mature. We got to continue to get more production from different guys throughout the roster. And I'm confident in our staff and my ability to get that done over the next couple of weeks.
Thanks, Coach.
And our final question is going to come from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Mike, any update on Ice? Kind of what's his situation like?
He's better. Again, I want to get, I handle all injuries the same, and it doesn't really matter who the player is. Guys are ready to go out there. And the key is, can they play at the level from an effort standpoint that we need? I don't know if we're going to make shots, but when they get there is when they can go back out there. He wasn't there today. Tomorrow we'll travel. We'll see how much he can do in practice, and then we'll reevaluate on Saturday morning whether he can go in West Virginia.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, that'll do it for questions, but kind of as always here while we got the group together, is there anything else that you feel is important that you'd want to share that maybe we didn't cover?
No, man, we had a heck of a run here over the last week. People looked up at the schedule, and I'm sure many people said, they could easily go 0-5 here. And, we won the first 3. And so that was a good start. And so I'm proud of what we've done. But tonight was a step back, but it was against a really good team. And I look forward to getting back to practice and trying to figure out how to get back on the right track on Saturday up in Morgantown.